This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us today. I'm David Pakman. The Catholic Church as an organization is morally bankrupt, it's irresponsible, and I'll tell you, it's downright creepy. Remember last week's, the newest Vatican sex scandal? I know, Lewis, you've been following it closely.
How could I forget?
It's a gay prostitution ring taking place at the Vatican, and the first thing I thought of when I heard this is obviously, holy crap, yet another Vatican Catholic Church weird, creepy situation. And I don't want to offend anybody who happens to be Catholic, of the Catholic persuasion. And what I'm talking about is the Catholic Church as an organization, and I'll make my case. There is an investigation that was going on with Angelo Balducci, who oversaw the Italian government's awarding of construction contracts, including work on the airport at Perugia. And the investigation was originally about corruption related to those contracts. Well, they stumbled upon what really can only be called Catholic gay prostitution hijinks. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I don't think I'm editorializing by saying that, am I?
I mean, I don't think there's a nicer way to put it, you know?
The conversations that were recorded were between Angelo Balducci and Thomas Chinedu Ahem, a 39-year-old Nigerian singer. These conversations were recorded over a period of time spanning almost 2 years, including up to just a few weeks ago. And the connection between Balducci and the Catholic Church is that Balducci served as a gentleman of His Holiness. It honestly makes me shiver a little bit just to use a term like that. Also known as a papal usher or a Vatican gentleman. Gentleman, by the way, a term often used at brothels as well to refer to the customers, the gentlemen that frequent the establishment. The main responsibility of this ceremonial position is to welcome heads of state to the Vatican and escort them to see the Pope. I actually have wiretap transcripts, Lewis, of what was said. I say we act this one out a little bit. Do you want to? I could play the Nigerian man Ihem, who is kind of facilitating the prostitution, or I could play Balducci, who seems to be interested in taking part.
You can be Balducci.
Okay, go on. So it starts with Ihem calling up Balducci about some prospects he has, some male prostitutes he can bring.
2 black Cuban men.
No. Up, you're way down already.
What?
It starts above Balducci's line, in the middle of that paragraph. Ihem says...
See, I don't have this here.
No, you do. It's see where it's Balducci, it's bolded, right above that. It's in that paragraph.
Oh, yes. Okay. I called you because there are, if you were free, 3 or 4 situations that can be good. Very, very good. 2 black Cuban men. Really tall. Tall.
Oh.
So if you are free, we can try to organize right away. That is, I saw both of them, Angelo. Believe me that they could be 2 excellent options.
Okay, and then in another conversation, Ihem goes on and says...
Look, if you want, I can have them come one after the other. It is possible if you have some free time, I can arrange for the 2 of them.
Which are the better ones?
The better ones are the ones I just told you about. One from Bologna and the other one from Rome.
All right, let's do it for 3:30.
Okay.
So it's a funny transcript, but what isn't funny is that while the Catholic Church wants spousal benefits denied to gay couples marrying in Washington, D.C., they are not encouraging the use of birth control in places where it is desperately needed. They're against safe abortions that are leading to the deaths of thousands of women in poor, mostly Catholic countries, while they're denying communion to Patrick Kennedy because of his stance on abortion. And by the way, who really wants a Catholic priest putting a cookie in your mouth? But that's a whole other story. Let's assume Patrick Kennedy does want that. They're expelling children from Catholic schools whose parents are gay or lesbian. They're involved in, yes, it's a hilarious but outrageous gay sex scandal. The Catholic Church is at the forefront of a gay sex scandal. There's no other way to say it. It's complete moral bankruptcy. By the way, you favor abortion, you don't get communion. If your parents are lesbians, you get expelled from school. If you abuse children, like an unnamed priest did just a few months ago, you simply get temporarily suspended from the church. Incredible, is it not?
I don't know what to say. Outrageous.
It gets even more weird. The chief exorcist of the Catholic Church, his name is Gabriel Amorth, says that the devil is in the Vatican. That's why all the hot gay sex prostitution wiretap hijinks are taking place. And by the way, I know that I wouldn't be mentioning this if this was just a regular exorcist. This is the chief exorcist, after all, of the Catholic Church. That's why I'm mentioning. Or just a regular exorcist might not really be credible. This guy, Amorth, has been involved in 70,000 demonic possessions. He says that the consequences of satanic infiltration include power struggles at the Vatican, as well as cardinals who don't even believe in Jesus, and bishops who are linked to the demon. He also added, when one speaks of the smoke of Satan in the holy rooms, it's all true, including these latest stories of violence and pedophilia. He approves, however, of the 1973 film The Exorcist, which, although exaggerated, offers a substantially exact picture of possession. It's remarkable. This is an exorcist. An exorcist, Lewis, is being involved in commenting on why there is a gay prostitution ring in the Catholic Church. I cannot imagine anything more surreal. And he says, to top it off, it's because the devil got in. Did the devil also cause them to expel the kids who have gay or lesbian parents?
I can't imagine the Vatican using anyone else as their expert and spokesperson on the matter.
Other than the chief exorcist, Gabriella Amorth.
Naturally.
Well, so the Catholic Church has an exorcist advising them on gay prostitution. It's remarkable. In other news, by the way, the White House announced that Sylvia Browne, the well-known psychic, will be moderating a discussion of what to do about healthcare. And FEMA announced that the Loch Ness Monster is now going to be put in place off the coast of New Orleans in case the levees break. So it's just yet another. It's not a big deal to have the exorcist involved, right? It's just the normal everyday business.
Yeah.
Okay, Prince Philip. Somebody sent me this. Did you know that Prince Philip, also known as the Duke of Edinburgh, a.k.a. the current Queen of England's husband, is known for making really off-color remarks? I didn't know about this. He always struck me as kind of an odd guy, but I wasn't aware he said some of these things. I'll just read a few of these because they're pretty funny. At a Washington embassy reception for Commonwealth members, he asked the guy, "Are you Indian or Pakistani? I can never tell the difference between you chaps." To an islander on the Cayman Islands, he said, "Aren't most of you descendants from pirates?" To the president of Nigeria, who was dressed in traditional robes, he actually said, "You look like you're ready for bed." He was asked about key problems facing Brazil, and he said the main problem is that Brazilians live there. To a Scottish driving instructor, he said, "How do you keep the natives off the booze long enough to pass the test?" To British students in China during a royal visit there, "If you stay here much longer, you'll all be slitty-eyed." And pointing at an old-fashioned electrical box while on tour of a factory near Edinburgh, he said, "It looks as if it was put in by an Indian." And then in Kenya, 1984, after accepting a gift from an indigenous woman, he actually said, "You are a woman, aren't you?" So the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, not necessarily the most politically correct guy. And hey, if I had to be around that queen 24/7, you can imagine I'd get a little bit testy as well. Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.